Look, I made a few videos today. Hey. I got a lot on this beautiful brain, this beautiful mind of mine. Yes, beautiful mind. Yes. Ooh. Hey. And I just had to say, like in my past, hey Chewy, good to see you. I had to say that in my past, I've had the church hurt, the shame, the guilt, the things that I carried around and defined myself by, which limited me and hindered me in living life fully, completely, or authentically in who I am, because the hurt, the pain, it was too much. I defined myself by it. It was always some connotations of shame or guilt, or wanting to hide certain things, or not wanting people to know certain things. And like I say, just never really having that safe space or the place where I was accepted, just as I am, just for who I am. I wore armor my whole life. That's why this whole soft girl era, look, I'm tapping into my divine feminine, baby. I am divine. I am the divine feminine, okay? I'm tapping into it. And I didn't even realize that was a thing, because I had to wear armor my whole life. I fought my whole life. I had to, and I was the only one that was fighting for me. I was the only one that was defending me. So soft girl treatment, look, soft girl treatment where I come from, I didn't have time to be weak. And I associated soft girl treatment with being weak. That was a weakness. And baby, I couldn't afford to be weak. not in the battlefield of my life. Family, friends, people, situations, circumstances. I couldn't afford to be weak. I couldn't afford to show emotions, break or fold, or let people get the best of me. So it was always a defense. Soft girl is not even something I knew existed, because I equated it with weakness. And now I know that being able to be soft, that's a superpower, because there's so many things that come along with that. That comes with, in order to receive that level of treatment, you have to give yourself that level of treatment. So you have to consider yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to be good to yourself. You have to pamper yourself and treat yourself good and nice and care and so many other things. And it is not a weakness at all. It is actually intentional efforts of self-love, because at the end of the day, we cannot ask or expect or make lists of these things that we want in our people and our mates if we have not given those things to ourselves. If that is unfair, and that is a setup for failure. And and also, like I say, we can't realistically require something from somebody that we haven't even given ourselves. If you haven't given it to yourself, you don't even know what it feels like. You don't even know what it means to receive that level of treatment if it's not something that you've been given to yourself. So honestly, how are you going to, if you've never felt it, if you've never had it, if you've never received it, how, and just say the person does come in your life, how are you going to know that the person is actually giving you that level of treatment if you have never experienced that level of treatment for yourself, And look, like I say, baby, I'm loving on me so good. I know what it means to be good to yourself in all areas: mind, body, soul, spirit, nutritionally, exercise, discipline, consistency. Like it's a work in progress, and it's not easy, especially when you have never made yourself a priority. It's not easy to just pick up those things and do it. Like, it's not a quick fix. It just doesn't happen overnight, but it takes intentional actions and intentionality in efforts and consistency and putting in, making yourself a non-negotiable, making sure, like I say, tapping into that discipline and doing it even when you don't want to. That's what it takes. And the more that you do it, the more it becomes a habit. The more that you do it, the more that you feel it. The more that you do it, the more you expect it. You require it. And at this point in my life, baby, I'm solo. You know, look, only person loving on me is myself and God. So at this point, I know what I require for myself. Like I say, like the amusement parks, baby, you got to be at least this tall to ride this ride. ain't no tippy toes, ain't no boosts, ain't no shortcuts. Either you're up here or you're not. And if you're not, come holler at me when you get to this level, because I'm no longer lowering my standards to meet people where they're at. I'm no longer lowering myself to try to pull you up. Either you gonna put in the actions and the efforts and the work, because it is work that it takes to get up here. Look, or like I say, look, holler at me. Holla at me whenever you make it to this level. And I am very aware, baby, that I vibrate high. I fly high. And can't everybody's lungs don't work at this level of elevation. And I am very clear on that. But also I don't apologize for that. I can't feel bad because I put in the work. I can't feel bad because I tightened up my bootstraps and went through the mud and the darkness, the tears, the pain, the guilt, the shame, the so many other things that I had to fight through. I had to fight past the tears, like I say, the anger, the rage, the fear, the speaking to things like I say, like I for God to break you, to rebuild you, is not for the faint of hearts. And everybody is not going to experience that, because everybody is not willing to do that level of work for themselves. And I pray that you are, because it is not easy. It is by far not easy. It is uncomfortable. It can be lonely. Tell me about it. I'm still solo, baby. It could be lonely. It can be unsavory. It is challenging. It is nerve-wracking. It is angering, frustrating. It hurts your feelings. It makes you cry. It, like I say, and it's like being thrown in the deep end, and it's like either you gonna sink or swim. And at the end of the day, I have a fighting and warrior spirit. And even in my life, everything that I went through, I stayed fighting through it. I stayed standing. I stayed. That's the only reason why I'm here today, because each level of my life, like I say, every version of myself did the best that they could. They fought through it. They endured. Like I say, we went through a whole lot. And at the end of the day, I'm only standing here because of each versions of myself fighting in warrior spirit. And at the end of the day, like I say, I've had to do that thing where I talk to each version of myself. And I'm proud. It was not easy. Yes, we accepted treatment that was less than desirable, less than we wanted, definitely less than we deserved or were worthy of. But at the end of the day, we got through. Still believing in love, heart still open, ready to love, still caring, still giving, still compassionate. And that says a lot for people who have gone through trauma, been done wrong, been hurt, haven't, like I say, so many other things for me to make it to this point. The heart of me have always been love. I'm, like I say, I'm about love. Everything that I do is out of kindness and care and compassion and giving. That's the heart of who I am. That's always been who I am, And I honor that. I value that. And I respect that about myself. And I'm just not willing to sacrifice myself any longer for the expense of anybody else. I won't do it. I won't do it, because that's not what God is meant. That's not what God wants for me. That's not how it was meant to be, and that show is not how it is going to be, like I say. So make sure, like, it's not easy, but I can tell you that living like I say, with no performance, no masks, no fakes, no fronts, no pretenses, being authentically who I am, truth, honest, accountable, integrity, being about love, shining the bright light that I was blessed to carry, being a light bearer, a light worker, doing everything out of love, compassion, kindness, but then standing on the truth, being about, like I say, it's about integrity, honesty, accountability, and transparency for me. And that's how I live my life. You know what I'm saying? And when you live your life on that level, you realize who is not. Yet, when you live life on that level, because that's a level, that is a level that God requires, for you to step into your soul's purpose, for you to receive your blessings and your manifestations. And you have to, be able to, like I say, there has to be, I'm very aware that there's duality. Like I say, at one point in my life, look, I live more on the dark side. I live more on the dark side and in the darkness. You know what I'm saying? And now there is a harmonious balance between my dark and my light. Yes, I had to go through the dark to get to my light, and that wasn't easy. I had to, because I was so strong, I've leaned more on my masculine side of strength and ego and pride and not asking for help and so many other things that came with that I thought tapping into my femininity was weakness. Because of the armor that I wore, because of the things that I've experienced in my life. Now there's a marriage between my divine feminine and my divine masculine within me. And I will tap into my divine feminine quickly, and unapologetically, without shame, without guilt, without feeling bad about it. So it is about the duality. Ooh, that's acceleration. My blessings and miracles are coming accelerated. But the duality that's within us, it's not about leaning more to one side or the other in order to survive. It's about a harmonious balance between it all in order to thrive. It's like a beautiful dance that you have to be able to do. And again, I've done the leaning to one side. I've done the surviving. I've done the lack, the scarcity, the poverty consciousness. I've done that in my life. I've survived. Look, baby, I ain't meant to survive, baby. I can't say it enough. I'm high class, baby. I'm top shelf. Okay. Look, I am, like I say, I am royalty. I deserve luxury and pampering and care and love and to be treated, to be considered, to be honored, to be valued, to be respected, to be appreciated, to be loved on, to be poured into, to have somebody show up for me, to have somebody check on me, have somebody want to do for me. Acceleration, to have somebody want to be there for me, to have somebody that wants only the best for me, to have somebody that wants to put a smile on my face, to have somebody that wants to make me feel good, to have somebody that wants to love me good, to have somebody that wants me to only have the best. I'm worthy of that, baby, and I'm deserving of that, and I will not settle for less than that. I've settled in my past. I've done the less many times over, baby, many times over. And I won't be going back to less again. Look, hell to the no. Okay, don't do it, won't do it, ain't gonna do it. I done already did it, been there, done that, never again. Okay, and and I'm for sure of that. Okay. Look, I know my worth, baby. I know my value. And the beautiful thing about not needing validation or seeking validation from people is that, and having a standard and requirement and boundaries and limiting access, being able to walk away from things that don't serve you, being able to cut ties with things that don't serve you and are not pouring into you or don't have the best intent for you. It's not always easy, baby, but I will detach. I will detach this glorious bright light that God has blessed me to carry. I will detach it and walk smooth the fuck away. Yes, I will. I've done it. You better ask somebody. Baby, okay? Look, if I don't love me, if I don't choose me, how can I expect somebody else to? So like I say, God don't play about me, baby, and I don't play about myself. So there is nothing wrong with having standards. There's nothing wrong with having expectations and requirements and those things for yourself. But those standards, expectations, and things that you are requiring, like, it can only be valid if you have given those things to yourself. Like, I know who I am. I know the greatness of who I am. And now I can require those things for myself. I will accept nothing less but my divine masculine love and energy. You know what I'm saying? My divine counterpart. I will accept nothing less because I know my worth and my value. Yet also I'm loving me. I'm pouring into me. I'm giving to me, and I'm being good to me. And I am okay with me. So being solo, enjoying my company, laughing at myself, having a good time, talking shit, dancing, doing what excites and ignites me, only making decisions that are in vibrational resonance to what makes me feel good, considering me, being thoughtful for me, loving on me, caring about me. Like I say, I can now require those things from somebody else because I'm giving them to myself. And I will not accept nothing less, baby. Once you've been treated, baby, you ain't going to settle for less. And trust me, baby, I treat myself. Okay? I treat myself until my divine masculine, until my divine union, until my divine counterpart finds me and starts to treat me. I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to love myself. And I'm going to be so damn good to myself, because I'm worthy and deserving of that. So, baby, I'm high class. I'm luxury. I'm top shelf, baby. Look, God don't play about me, baby, and I ain't playing about myself ever. Okay? And I can now require those things, and I do require those things, because at the end of the day, you better come correct or don't come at all. Okay? Come correct or don't come at all, baby, because you get your feelings hurt. Okay? Because, look, I don't pull no punches. I'm truthful and I'm honest, and I'm not going to stroke no egos. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, the truth of what you need to hear. So come correct or don't come at all, because, look, I don't play small. Look, I don't play small, and I don't settle for less. And I will remain solo before I settle for less. You know what I'm saying? And that's what being solo has taught me, to love me. Like I said, I was forged in the fire of my life, and then God forged me in solitude to show me exactly who I am, exactly what I'm capable of, exactly that I'm strong, standing on my own 2 feet. And at the end of the day, I will continue to be solo before I settle for less or fall for the okie doke. I'm not lowering my standards. So either you rise up or step the fuck off. And that's how I roll, baby, and I'm okay with it. Even if you don't agree with it, guess what? You don't have to, because that's my damn business. Okay? Those are my standards for myself. And whether you are okay with them or not, guess what? I am. Ooh, and that's all that matters. So anyway, my beautiful people, I'm talking, but I pray that this blessed you, and I pray that you're loving on you, and I pray that you are being good to you, and that you are doing what you need to and want to for you, to heal you, to love you, to raise your vibrations, to like I say, to elevate, to level up. Because at the end of the day, if we don't do it for ourselves, baby, we can't expect or guarantee that anybody else will. Not the ones we thought, not the ones we expected, or hell, even the ones that promised to. Okay? So love on you. Be good to you. Be honest with you. Like I say, heal you, work on you, give to you, love you. and give yourself the life that you deserve, the life that my God intended you to have, because you are more than worthy and deserving, my beautiful people. Mwah!